Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the Other Discovery Show.
Hello, Governor.
The podcast that's not about other podcasts. It's about all the other things we discovered this week. I'm Josh.
You're soy Kirk.
And I'm Zach.
And this week I discovered, through 23andMe's genetic DNA testing services, that I'm part British. Don't you know?
We didn't. Hey, wasn't it like last week that he was making fun of the Brits, saying that they were like our pretentious cousins that no one wants to hang out with or something?
Yep. So now we're the pretentious cousins.
So I found
that
out...
explains so much
Because
about
I
Josh.
have a feeling that if he is mostly British, then I probably also am mostly British.
I found out that I'm partially British, so now I talk like this, and I can't help it. I'm Gordon Ramsay.
It's in his blood.
It's in my blood.
It's in his
It was
blood.
latent, but now that I know, and I'm British now.
You sound like Justin McElroy's impersonation of the WikiLeaks guy.
I don't know what that sounds like. But anyways,
sounds
yeah,
like
no,
that.
Sounds like that.
yeah, so I did 23andMe. I found out I'm like 60-something% British and Irish, just Northern Europe mud, and also part Scandinavian. And then we have a recent ancestor in Barbados, which I think is a little bit of a mix-up there. But yeah, so I never knew where we were from or what our
Our ancestry.
our ancestry was. So it was definitely interesting to find out. And then there's all the health stuff that I haven't dug into yet. But apparently I'm a morning person based on my genetics.
Do you think that's right? I didn't know that you could genetically be a morning person, to be honest.
It's like a difference between like 45 minutes or an hour. It's like it says I naturally wake up at like 8:03, where people that are like night owls would naturally wake up at like 8:45.
Oh. I mean, to me, that almost goes in like cycles. It depends on how, like, when I'm going to sleep.
Yeah. So majority of it is the when you go to sleep and drinking coffee and how well you get rested and how long you sleep and things like that. But there's some genetic propensity to it. But anyways, I did 23andMe, found out
I want to
where
do
I'm
that.
from.
I really do.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. People have been convicted of crimes because of 23andMe.
Yes.
Because a close relative sent in their DNA, and you can tell relatives by their DNA, and he was convicted of a crime because they had that DNA like on file at the police.
So does 23andMe report everything to the police?
It's a
how does this
DNA
work?
it's a DNA database.
Okay.
So the police can reference it
I see.
against what their stuff is. So the funny thing is I've had two people that are like second or third cousins on 23andMe in the app. They can like reach out and be like, "Hey, we're like 17% DNA related. That means we're somewhat close relatives."
Fairly related.
Yeah. So they reached out and were like, "Hey, I don't know who you are. Who are you?"
That's super random.
It is weird. Yeah.
You need to like find everyone on other countries that you want to go visit that's somewhat related to you, and then be like, "Hey, man, I'm your cousin. I want to come visit and stay at your house, please, for free."
That would be a weird first introduction. Hey,
It would.
we're 17% related. I want to stay at your house.
It's free Airbnb.
So I discovered this week from the Podcast Discovery Club Facebook group that everyone should definitely be a part of.
I'm a part of it.
Sort of. You're on the list, I think. But Keith sent us a really cool discovery this week about Lego.
Yeah,
And they
I saw this.
had this new Lego line that's called Ideas. And people could send in different ideas, and 10,000 members of the community voted for it, and it's a treehouse.
So the Lego Ideas thing they've been doing for a while. So you get like the Ghostbusters van, you get Adventure Time, you get some really cool like nature and science ones. So there's a lot of things where if it gets like 5,000 or more,
I signed the
votes.
petition for an FTL one, so you
Yeah.
could build all the FTL ships.
Yeah.
Didn't make it.
Dang
so
it!
it
I
has
like
to
that.
get like at least like 5,000, and then they review it and see if they can get the licensing and make it happen.
But yeah, so they have this new one that is a treehouse, and it looks awesome. It's 14 inches tall. It is
Looks like a bonsai tree.
It is Lego, so it is expensive. I believe it's $200 for it, but it's 3,000 Lego elements. It's a
Oh
lot.
wow,
It's
that's huge.
It's very cool looking. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just. It's very interesting, especially for Lego, because it's usually sharper angles and things like that. But this is really interesting looking. But here is the real trick to it. They have started using plant products to make the plant type elements of the treehouse. So the plant-based polyethylene leaves are the first step in Lego's plan to switch completely to sustainable materials by 2030. That is not far. And it's really interesting that Lego, who has just been a powerhouse for forever, I'm trying to, when did the first Lego stuff come out? I should have looked that up because I'm curious now.
90s,
Yeah, it's
I watched a, you know that Netflix show, The Toys That Made Us? Have you guys ever seen that show? Well, there was an episode about Legos, and they were so close to going out of business like 2 or 3 times. But the town that they're in, literally the whole town is built around Legos, like that factory, because it's always been in the same town, and it's been the main source of income for most of the inhabitants of that town. I forget the name of the town. It's like one of those towns.
Lego, Missouri.
Nope. It's not in Missouri.
But yeah, it's really cool that, first of all, people can kind of vote, collaboratively decide cool sets. And then it's really ambitious and awesome that Lego's trying to switch to sustainable stuff. And I think they're going to get there because they've had a good product for a long time. And so it's cool that they broke out these plant-based pieces on a really interesting looking treehouse.
Yeah, and before all of our listeners get triggered and start tweeting at Kirk,
Wait, what?
it's Lego. It's never Legos. The plural of Lego is Lego, or Lego pieces.
Legos?
I didn't realize that was like a trigger-worthy thing, but I believe it is.
It's a core part of like their corporate branding.
Well, that is interesting. It's like deer.
Yeah, it's a fun fact.
Deers.
So, people are going to make fun of me for being a hipster for even talking about this, but I heard that they are making Boba beer. And so there was a quiz thing, one of those goofy online quiz things. It was like, how millennial are you? But it was basically like, how hipster are you?
Yeah.
It was like acai bowls and boba.
I was very hipster, my friend. I was one away from being the most hipster.
Yeah.
I feel like that it became a thing to make fun of them.
I felt bad. And because they did this in the Gravity Beard interns group, and I'm like, am I supposed to be ashamed of this?
I don't think
I just
so.
like trying food, and it was all based on food. And I'm like, I just try everything.
Yeah, I was there was like 3 or 4 things on the list.
And they're like, oh yes, you should be ashamed, but I don't care.
I have vinyl. Like, I like eating at interesting places. I like craft beer. Like, sure.
Yeah, it was acai bowls, matcha flavored anything,
Avocado toast.
I haven't ever had it, but first of all, it sounds good.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's gone all over any type of social media.
Hold on, let's just quiz Zach real quick.
I just don't like.
Yeah, let's see what Zach is.
Yeah, because I never do these quizzes because I don't care.
All right, Zach, I'm going to list things off, and you just say yes or no.
Real quick, because there's a lot of them.
Avocado toast.
Yes.
Charcoal water.
No.
Rainbow bagel.
No.
Unicorn frappuccino.
No.
Cronut.
Cronut? No. I know what it is, but I haven't had one. I'd eat it though.
They're amazing.
This is have you had it? Not
Yes.
would you eat it? Because all of these I would.
Oh yeah.
Black ice cream.
No.
Cloud eggs.
No.
Quinoa.
Yes.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Unfortunately, yes.
Kombucha.
Yes.
Matcha anything.
Are you counting?
Yes.
Because I'm not counting.
Poke.
Yes.
LaCroix.
Yes.
Turmeric latte.
No.
Acai bowl.
No.
Overnight oats.
No.
Ramen burger.
No.
Mermaid toast.
No.
Sushi burrito.
What is mermaid toast? Like, seriously, I would eat all of this, though, if that makes any difference. But no.
Rolled ice cream.
Once again, no. But I want it.
Plant City, and it's so good.
I want it so much.
Oat milk.
Oat milk? No.
Rosé.
Yes.
Bone broth.
Yes.
Impossible burger.
Yes.
Almond butter.
Yes.
Green juice. Which I think
I
is
think
just
so, yeah.
I think it's just like blended up like green stuff. Juice.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. Green smoothies.
Cauliflower rice.
Yes.
Boba.
Yes.
Bulletproof coffee.
Yes.
Waffle sandwich.
No, but I want one right now. Wait, yeah, I did.
Yeah, we had one in
it. In Portland. Yep.
So it's like if you're 18, if you're above 16, then you're millennial AF is what it is.
I'm probably one step below that then.
I was what? Yes, almost millennial. That was mine.
I have over 20. So like 16 is the cutoff, and I was like 21 or 22. So,
but here's the thing: I just like trying weird stuff.
That's exactly what I was saying. Like I'll try anything.
Yeah. So, and
like,
usually if something gets popular, it's usually because it's good.
No, and okay, it also became a thing like, oh, you're hipster if you have vinyl. The whole reason I got into vinyl is because I want a collection, like a collection of music again.
A physical collection of something.
Like, because that's the thing. Like, yeah, you can stream anything all the time, but this is more deliberate. You sit down, you put on an album that you have collected at some point, and you listen to an album. It's not really feasible to like bounce between songs or anything like that. There's no playlists. You listen to an album kind of start to end. And so it's a different experience. And I like the used stuff a lot too, because you get all that like texture to the sound with old albums. You know, I have a Marty Robbins that's old. I have Sinatra that's old. I have old jazz albums. Sinatra. And it just all sounds really good with like the little pops and I don't know of a better way to describe it than like texture to the music. It makes it sound interesting. It gives it a different thing than, because everything is so clean now.
Yep. It sounds like you're listening to a physical piece of art rather than something that's digitized.
And I kind of just like the premise that they literally etch grooves in a vinyl disc that literally it just mechanically makes sound. Like if you don't if you don't power it and you put your ear close to a record player, you can hear it playing. It's very, very quiet, but it mechanically plays music, and that's just cool.
It is really neat.
Fun fact, Jack White was part of the vinyl renaissance, right? He was like,
I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
Part of it. So he opened up a, it's called, I think, Third Man Records, I think is what it's called. And it's a shop that just prints vinyl like crazy.
That's cool.
And so he's been like huge in pushing that for a long time.
But that's what I think it kind of got goofy, because there was a time where it got real like hipster fashion kind of became a thing. So there was a lot of like handlebar mustaches and like really tight pants and weird shirts. And so people were just kind of,
they kind of
lumped everybody.
Vinyl, just so people knew that they had vinyl, they'd carry it around with them.
And that's the thing.
They have a necklace with a vinyl on there, like Flavor Flav.
But they also love craft beer.
It should be
the Flavor Flav necklace. No, but they like craft beer and stuff, and that I like craft beer. It's because I like trying things that are different, just exploring stuff, because there's always more to discover.
Speaking of
that's
beer,
not this show.
So the Beer Factory in Malaysia, unfortunately, merged booze and boba to create its Boba Beer series. The series features 4 unique flavor combos: butter beer made with Kirin Ichiban, which is a decent beer, it's Japanese; Guinness milkshake made with Guinness, obviously; strawberry lime cider made with apple fox cider.
We can't say that.
I can't say fox cider.
Oh, fox. Yeah,
Foxaka.
And watermelon beer made with tiger beer. You mean
tiger beer?
Why don't they just call it tiger beer if it's? I don't get that.
Is it made with tiger meat?
Basically, it's a limited time thing right now at the Beer Factory, and they look like milkshakes. They've got like whipped cream on them. They've got the boba in them. They've got fruit floating in them.
They look like frappuccinos.
Yeah, so they're like frappuccinos or milkshakes.
Sounds pretty good.
Or something. But beer is a component of them. So, and it's got boba as well. Which,
I know for a fact that Josh has, but have you had boba?
Yeah.
Have you ever launched bobas?
No, but I'm going
Good
to
Lord.
I'm going to Animal Kingdom tomorrow, which is where we always get, it's a Disney thing. Where we always get,
you wouldn't get it, Josh. It's a Disney thing.
It's a Disney thing. That's where I've had boba.
Get it again?
Get it every time.
And it's like spitball.
And I'm going to start launching those, because they're in those fat straws
and
too.
It is just barely enough clearance. You can launch those things, because
do it
up by our school where we went to college, there was this boba place, and so we go a lot, and you can launch those things.
We would go in the parking garage and stick them to the roof.
If anybody has the opportunity to get a boba, please try and launch a boba out of that straw, because it's really funny.
All right, y'all pay attention to our Facebook group. I might videotape.
Yeah.
I also have you guys seen? There's a guy on. I don't know if it's just Reddit. It's probably on social media too. I think it's called Cocktail Chemistry, and he just makes drinks. And he made this super fancy drink that I guess is from a super fancy bar, and it's a gin and tonic, but it has cucumber balls in it. Like, I don't know how he said that's like a separate video on how to make them, but it's like
like just a melon baller, but tiny.
It's tiny, like it's boba size cucumber things.
I'm get a little melon baller. It'll work.
A little, like tiny. I've never seen one that tiny though. Like bobas are not very big.
Yeah, I know.
So basically, it's just a gin and tonic with cucumber in it. And I was thinking the same thing. Every time I see boba now, I'm like, bet you could launch that thing over them mountains.
Yep.
Napoleon Dynamite reference.
Classic. But no, if anyone knows of boba beer anywhere in the United States,
Josh wants to go.
let me know. Preferably if it's in Tampa so I can actually go and get it.
It sounds like it's not actually beer though. I was
No, it's-
expecting like beer.
It's like beer-based, like milkshake or
But a
Frappuccino
beer
or something.
milkshake is odd in general.
I mean, the Guinness
Like sweetened
milkshake-
beer?
Guinness is the only one.
Yeah,
that
Guinness
makes
I
sense.
get.
But then they do like a cider, and it's like
Yeah,
watermelon.
that's kinda sweet, too.
Cider, and then they've got the Kirin Ichiban is with something else. But it's like they mix beers with things that complement the flavors.
Yeah, no, cider and stouts definitely I could see
Yeah.
having some sweet in there.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
I'm sure like you could mix stout into ice cream and
You
make
could
like
put it in
stout
your
flavored ice cream.
PBR
It'd be real good.
Chocolate milk.
Yep. There's PBR chocolate milk, by the way.
That's a bonus discovery.
It's called hard coffee, and I use air quotes on that. It tastes like Yoo-hoo, and it has a bunch of caffeine in it and a decent amount of alcohol in it, and it tastes like Yoo-hoo.
I would not recommend getting drunk on it. You're gonna get sick.
I mean, I've been drinking them for breakfast before work. It gets me going, gets me just right.
Gets me going both directions perfectly.
No, I'm kidding. I don't drink those before work.
Anybody that he works with.
Yeah, everyone I'm working with is listening to this. I don't actually drink those before work, but sometimes I wish I did.
So I read this article from Josh's motherland, the UK.
Hello,
It's
governor.
it's
I like how it's not mine. It
It's a-
hurts my feelings.
oh yeah, I forgot you guys are brothers.
I don't know that you're actually my brother until you
Yeah,
take a
until I take the
does.
DNA test.
You gotta take your 23andMe to see
Yep.
if you're actually
That's how we
related.
got to find out.
But it's an article about sloths, and they've always been like goofy creatures to me in my mind, and they're great to make fun of in cartoons and whatnot. But I didn't know that they were so weird when it comes to like the way that they interact with things in nature, because they're so slow that scientists have kind of always had issues with like, how are they not?
Yeah, how are you alive?
Yeah, how are you still around? Because you have like zero defense mechanisms and you're super slow. And science has always also had issues with like, I guess they poop like once a week, but instead of just pooping in the tree, they like climb all the way to the bottom of the tree, and it takes them like an hour or something to go all the way to the bottom of the tree. They poop at the bottom of the tree, and then they climb all the way back up. It's just like this weird thing, and they're like, why do they do that? This is like evolution should have already like got this out of them, according to the scientists. And apparently, these creatures are just extremely grungy. Like they're just like an ecosystem in themselves. They actually have algae that they let algae grow on their backs, and in their like they basically have a rainforest on their back of algae and humidity and gross like insects and stuff. And the algae, since it's algae, is green, it acts as a camouflage. And they also have like moths that like grow in their fur. It's real weird. They said that there's like they found up to 150 different types of living organisms on a single sloth.
That is insane.
So I heard something about sloths as well this week, and it was a Reddit thread. I don't know where or why or how I stumbled into this, but they were talking about sloths spend like 96% of their time upside down. And the next comment was, well, then they're spending 96% of their time right side up, and you're just calling it upside down.
Yeah, seems fair.
It's like you need to not use your definition of upside down on them because they live upside down.
And I mean,
thought it was funny.
I think that I didn't know all of that stuff, but did Attenborough do a clip
did.
on that? Because I remember seeing Attenborough
In this article,
narrate.
it talks about them. Yeah, it talks about that article, actually. There's some quotes.
I also, while he's pulling up the quote, I saw a video of a sloth that like fell into a river, and these guys were rescuing it, and they put a stick out for it, and it like it's obviously panicking because it's stuck in a river and trying to get out, and its panic movement is still like stupidly slow. Like it's just like I don't think they can move faster. I don't think it's like, oh, something's going to get them and they like run away and scamper. No, I think they just move slow.
Yeah, I think they have a very slow like metabolism.
Yeah.
Everything about them is just slow.
And so it just like slowly reaches up and grabs onto this stick that he puts out there. And it grabs on with its other arm. And it takes like 30 seconds for it to grab onto the stick. And then they pull it out of there, and then it climbs away slowly. And then they like take the stick and put it up next to a tree, and then it climbs into a tree.
Yeah, one of the Attenborough quotes is, imagine an infestation. Wait, you should do it because you have
Yeah, the
English
British guy.
accent. Here, you read it in your British accent. It's that one right there. It says, imagine
Imagine an infestation in a shag pile carpet on top of a compost heap, says Attenborough. my cousin from the UK.
There we go. I didn't want to appropriate your people.
I appreciate that, Kirk.
Yes.
And I mean, good luck trying to copy his narration
I
skills.
think I'm the only one that's done English accents on the show. Like
No,
48
but
times,
he is.
so-
He's a great narrator.
He is.
Like
He's
a
the
world
best.
renowned.
Yeah, I'm part Irish as well, so I need to start working on the Irish accent.
Irish is tougher.
I think
the,
if
and
they're-
the Scandinavian accent.
If you start mixing all those, it's gonna sound real weird.
It's gonna be good. I'll be like Sean Connery mixed with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh,
None of that is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You want to know? You want to
He's
know
from
something
Austria,
awesome?
isn't he?
Okay, here's another bonus fun fact. Arnold Schwarzenegger he wanted to do the German dub for Terminator. Have you
Yeah.
guys heard this? He wanted to do the German dub for Terminator, and they wouldn't let him because his like German Austrian accent is like super hillbilly. So they said it would be ridiculous if like a robot from the future comes back and is using like German hillbilly accent.
Talking like a hillbilly.
Yeah. So they wouldn't let him dub his own character.
No,
in
his
German.
story is really insane. He was from a poor area, and he just came over here and made himself what he became.
I'll be right back.
I'll be back now, you hear?
That would be, I mean, it would add an element that I don't think they were looking for in that movie.
Oh, man.
I don't know why, but I'm visualizing him doing that as he's going into lava, being like, "I'll be back." But that's not even when he says it, I don't think. But,
No, all he does is a
but that's
thumbs
what I'm
up.
visualizing it.
No, they had a cut scene where he was like, because they were just showing that he could have different voices and whatever. They had him talk like a hillbilly, and it was funny. But they weren't going for funny in those movies. That was not supposed to have laughs.
So I've also got a couple of Florida man stories.
Me too. You go first.
So, piece of patio furniture slices neck of Bradenton man.
Oh, gosh.
Bradenton's in Florida. So, piece of patio furniture slices neck of Florida man. Quote, "It was a very scary situation. My first concern was, did I cut my carotid?" said Charlie Lee. So, last weekend he was on the patio of his house, and he sliced his neck open on his patio chair, and the doctor says it missed the main artery in his neck by about 2 centimeters.
So he was
That's real close.
he was rightfully scared.
So one of the legs on the metal lounge chair is what cut him. And
What was he doing?
He says, "I could feel the inside of my neck, and I knew there was some serious trauma, but I tried to slow my heart rate down and get stabilized." So this guy's pretty clutch.
Do they describe what was going on? Okay, we got to get to this. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, I
So what
cannot-
is going on?
Lee says a very strong gust of wind, known as a funnel effect, had lifted him off his feet while he was moving the lounge chair.
What?
This-
He ended up in the pool with lots of blood gushing out. Luckily,
No.
it happened while a group of friends were at his home, one of them a critical care nurse. She immediately applied the pressure and stabilized me until the paramedics got there.
BS. This guy
A
fell
funnel.
over.
I think he was drinking. A funnel effect? Are you
what I'm
kidding me? Like he got thrown by like a micro tornado? Is what
I
you're
have
saying?
seen these, and they don't pick people up. They pick like
13
chairs up, maybe.
13 stitches, and his wife of 37 years is grateful that he survived this freak accident. Yeah, I'm sure if she's saying, "Oh, I'm so grateful he survived. Oh, it's so good that he didn't die from the chair slicing
Oh,
his
so you
throat."
think his wife tried to assassinate him with a chair?
I mean, another quote here for you guys.
Who done it?
"It was the shock of my life, and I'm so glad we were surrounded by friends who were there when it happened because I was in the house," said his wife. Had we been here alone,
So
he
she made
would've-
sure to give her alibi as to where she was.
Yeah,
Had
we
you-
were all here. There was witnesses.
had we been here alone, he would have been dead.
Because I would have used a knife.
Bum, bum, bum.
I mean,
I would have made sure that chair killed him good.
so apparently he's telling his story because he doesn't want this freak accident involving patio furniture
How it?
and the wind happening to other people. So guys,
There's no chance.
guys,
Okay, I could actually see the wind making the furniture get in his way and him tripping or something. There's no way this freaking wind picked him up and dropped him on the patio furniture. I'm
Guys?
sorry.
he says he's one lucky person, and the doctor told him that he had guardian angels looking over him. So
Sounds like a guardian
That
angel
sounds
threw
like
a chair
really
at him.
bad luck if,
Yeah.
if he gets picked up by a random piece of wind.
Yeah, like I've never heard of that.
This
But
isn't a
guys,
thing.
all's
It's not a
well.
thing.
all's well that ends well. He had a follow-up visit, and the doctor said he's recovering well.
And he burned his chair.
All right, so I've got a quick Florida woman story. It's basically a little update if you guys remember a few weeks back on the TODS, we talked about the alligator. We even played the clip of the alligator breaking into that lady's house, and it broke all those windows in her kitchen and stuff like that. Well, guess what, guys? The insurance here in Florida has denied her claim to fix her windows in her house because they don't cover gator damage.
I would be very upset. It's like, that is a part of life in Florida. You better cover alligators.
I mean, we already have to pay more for insurance for hurricane risk. Like,
yeah, hurricane and flood.
I feel like alligators should just be like lumped into like the hurricane risk. This is like
alligators,
Florida risk.
Did you guys see this stupid movie that's coming out? I think it's called
The Gator
Crawl.
one?
Yeah.
It got like ridiculous good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't
somehow.
understand. I think it must be like schlocky to be funny, but there is it's kind of an alligator movie. So I think it's during like a hurricane. People get trapped in their house and the water's rising, and then gators are like attacking them. They're just like coming in the house and attacking them. It's like, I don't know what's going on in this movie, but yeah, that's just a random aside.
So
It looks
rough, ridiculous.
It looks like Sharknado in Florida.
Yeah, Lake
gators.
Placid got kicked in the head by a horse.
So I got another one, another Florida man. So video captures Florida Uber driver attacked after passenger wouldn't put seatbelt back on. So the driver, Joe Leone, said he picked up the rider from St. Pete Beach to take him to South Tampa, but towards the end of the ride, he says he was attacked. Leone said that Richards, the passenger, took off his seatbelt after they got off the interstate, and when he told him to put his seatbelt back on, he became upset and started getting belligerent and started attacking him.
So it was the Uber passenger attacked the Uber driver, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And so the Uber driver, he's done 8,400 trips in the past 4 years, and he recently installed a camera for safety. So there's actually video of him getting attacked. And
For
he
someone
said-
to put on a seatbelt, that's intense.
Yeah. So he said he only turns it on if he feels uncomfortable in the car. So why did he turn it on before the attack? Richards, the passenger, is shown in the video first petting the driver's shoulder before being asked to stop.
Okay, that is a twist I was not expecting.
Please stop petting me, sir.
Please. You're touching me way too much. This is an Uber ride.
And,
This doesn't count as your tip.
and I think the first warning is like the guy sat in the front seat with them. If you're riding Uber, most of the time they encourage you to sit in the back seat because it's like a risk to them if you're sitting in the front seat right next to them. So they prefer you to sit in the back seat.
I've
like
sat in the front seat
diagonal from
before,
them.
but it was not like a sketchy situation.
So it's not a big deal. Like if you're drunk, you probably shouldn't sit in the front seat with them. And then you also shouldn't sit directly behind them. That's just a life pro tip. Don't sit behind your Uber driver and breathe on their neck.
Do you guys remember when we went to Orlando and we rode with our Uber driver that took us to the Mabim Bam show said that he was attacked?
Yeah. Somebody started
someone
punching
bit
him.
They bit him.
And then he beat the
he
mess out of him.
he punched him. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He punched the passenger.
And we're asked, we're like, well, how did it pan out? And the guy got like arrested or something like that, like the passenger, because he attacked him first, literally bit him. I think he said like broke the skin and everything. He like showed us like where he got bit. It was intense. I was like, well,
it's rough out there.
I guess that's part of the job apparently.
Yeah, rough out there for Uber drivers.
So basically 30 seconds after he was petting his shoulder, he like leaped across the front seat and started attacking him while he was driving. And
My
the
son's
driver
done that a few times.
What, were you told him to put on a seatbelt? He attacked you?
While I'm driving, he's attacked me a few times.
No, but you should always wear your seatbelt.
Yeah.
If you get into an accident, not only are you in like way more danger, the other passengers are in way more danger.
Because you're flying around like
you fly around like
jelly
like
missile.
a mace, and you just blast people.
Yeah.
People have been killed just because somebody else wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah, and the driver actually says if he was in the back seat, maybe it wouldn't have gotten as far as it did. But if it did, how much control would I have had with him behind me? So he's kind of thankful that he was in the front seat, so he could kind of like push the guy off and keep him from attacking him. So the guy got arrested, by the way.
Nice, happy
and
ending.
It appears that he was intoxicated.
Weird.
No.
I never would have guessed that.
So there you go.
Okay, well, the last discovery for this week is the band of the week. And this week, the band is called Night Moves.
Night Moose?
Night Moose. No, it's Night Moves with a V.
Oh, Night Moves.
Sure, something like that. They were founded by three high school friends with a shared interest in melding 70s rock with Americana. Minnesota's Night Moves emerged in 2010 with a sound that paired hooky indie pop with Nashville twang. Really interesting band, really fun stuff. The song is called Border on Border. Their new album is called Can You Really Find Me? definitely check it out. And as always, send us any of your discoveries this week. Join us on the Podcast Discovery Club on Facebook, and we can shout you out here just like we did Keith this week. Thanks for sending in a discovery, Keith.
Yep.
And also hit us up on Twitter. Send us an email, whatever you want. Send Kirk a telegram, whatever floats your boat. Thanks for listening.
I only answer carrier pigeons.
Okay, so send Josh a pigeon.
Also, I'm on Twitter at PDSJosh.
At Kanye West. Okay, well, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
I'm sorry.
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.